take advantage on this issue. And a look at the polling suggests actually, no, they're in a worse position than they were at this point during Donald Trump's first term. Take a look here. Trust which party more on immigration. In 2018, Democrats had an edge of about 6 points. You come over to this side of the screen now, look at that. Republicans are the ones who actually have an edge on immigration. So this whole idea that Democrats are going to be able to take advantage of the immigration group, of the immigration issue, actually doesn't bear itself out in the polling, despite everything that's been going on. In fact, Democrats are in worse position than they were during Donald Trump's first term.
Yeah, maybe that they don't like what Donald Trump, the president, is doing, but they don't think Democrats will do a better job.
Correct. They think Democrats will do a worse job on immigration than Republicans.
All right. What about border security in general?
Okay, border security in general. So this is immigration at large. What about border security? Look at this. Look at these numbers. Hello. Party trusted more in border security. Again, at this point, Trump's terms. Look at this. In 2018, Republicans had a 13-point advantage. If anything, the advantage is a little bit larger now. Republicans up by 15 points. So when you put it all together, you put immigration with border security and the idea that Democrats will be able to take the ball and run away on it, the polling data suggests no. This is actually an issue that Republicans should be more comfortable running on than Democrats. Democrats running on immigration may actually be to the Republicans' advantage.
Man, this is such an important point, fam. I mean, fam, this could have been the whole show. Real talk. What this segment tells you, and it ain't just me saying it, it's not just my words. What the polling shows is that after all this relentless coverage of ICE, after the white lady got killed, after the white guy got killed, after the brother Keith Porter got killed in Los Angeles, California, people still trust Republicans more in immigration than Democrats. That did not translate in Democrats appearing to be more suited to be dealing with immigration. They still rather have Trump. This is how bad the Democrats are doing. You know, when I'm up here criticizing the Democrats, and people are, oh, Tim, Jesus Christ, Tim, stop beating the dead horse. I didn't kill the horse. You know who killed the horse? The Democrats killed the horse. Family. The Democratic Party, who's in control of the corporate media? You think corporate media is being controlled by Republicans? That what you think? Or you believe this nonsense that Trump is? Yeah, only when they make crazy claims about him personally is he able to go after them like that. But by and large, you know, the corporate media has always been skewed to the liberal side of things. That's just how it is. I mean, if you want a real conservative take on any issue, you got to go to, like, you know, Fox News, of course, Newsmax, News Nation. You got to go with something like that. And even those, sometimes it's hit or miss. So they've been having control of the media narrative all this time, painting ICE as the most crazy, diabolical, to the point where they're comparing ICE agents as slave catchers. Think about that. That's the narrative they've been selling. And they still can't beat Trump in the polls when it comes to border security or immigration. Families, think about that. That's because they feel bad. Oh, she got shot. That's sad. But that's still, we still need the people. They can't be here. They ain't citizens. They need to leave and come back in the right door. All that noise. And for the record, guys, everybody, anybody, anything you focus on, you will be able to find instances where you can do the same narrative. I don't care what it is. If they wanted you to hate, and I mean hate your doctor, all they had to do is a couple segments showing malpractice lawsuits. They have all of America scared to go to the doctor. Getting third and fourth and five different opinions before they had any work done. You understand what I'm saying? Because once you focus on anything, you will expose that there's a lot of problems with it. I don't care what it is. It's not just ICE. Family. There are people, you think black people stop getting shot by cops? That's the question. Do you really believe that cops stop shooting black people? Or do you just think the media stopped talking about it? I'm gonna go ahead. What the hell happened? Okay, we almost got cut off there. Do you really think that the cop shooting stopped? They didn't stop. They just stopped talking about it. They switched to start talking about immigrants. What I'm telling you is you can focus on anything and make that an issue that rile people up, that gets people ready to be upset. You know what I'm saying? That I don't know, that gets people discombobulated from reality. If you focus on it enough, if you focus on Rottweilers attacking their owners, it can make you hate Rottweilers. But that's nothing compared to how many people die from, car accidents. And if you focus on car accidents, like if you spent, like the media spent, the amount of time they spent on ICE, I mean, guys, it's only been ICE in a few places. It ain't even been everywhere. It's not even everywhere. But they focus on anything that happens isolated, put it at the top of the fold. To elicit a response, and after all this work, it hasn't brought Trump down in the polls. That's because it was a loser for them to begin with. America did not want their border open. 20 million people came across the border unchecked. 20 million people. 20 million people. Them people went somewhere. And they're new to the country, so where they want to live at? It's like, just do the math. Americans are across racial lines, across gender lines, across class lines. For the most part, it's been a problem because it's caused a disruption in the system. And unless you're a corporation that's benefiting from exploiting new workers that you feel that you could pay less, why would you support that? It's not about xenophobia. It's just about resources. There's only a certain amount of resources that are in the budget, and when you use those budgets up, you go into deficits. I know. I'm in Maryland. Our budget is jacked up right now. It's same thing in New York. Same thing in Chicago. So the media game, as much as they played this game, family, it's just propaganda. They just decided it's a concerted effort to make you feel a certain kind of way. But it didn't work because you know what? 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. No matter how many times you show somebody getting roughed up by ICE, man, you could show social workers snatching kids from parents all day to citizens. This is not a new thing. Every time anybody goes to jail, guess what happens? They get separated from their family. In America, this is what happens. No kids go to jail with their parents. Whether you got a traffic ticket, a domestic violence charge, if you stole from the CVS, if you swindled a PPP loan, like this is happening all across the country. But we are focused on it like this is like a catastrophe. This is like the Holocaust. This is slavery. All those words did not change how people felt about it because it's BS to begin with. Family, I'm convinced. It's so bad now. They're hoping that somebody gets killed by ICE. They're praying for it because that's how they make money off of this now. Family, I saw there was an accident that I don't even know who caused the accident. It was like an accident. Now, I know there was one where our sister was, I think her name is Miss Davis. She's a school teacher, and she was hit by an undocumented person fleeing from arrest of ICE. There's another story that I saw on my timeline that had so many views, thousands upon thousands of views on this story. And there's a black woman at the scene. You can tell she's filming it. She's upset because she said ICE caused the accident. And at the end of the day, you find nobody got hurt. Not really. No one's life was lost. There was an accident. And that became big news because it's ICE. You know how many 4-car pileups, accidents there are every day in a city in America, but the only one they cared to show was the ICE-related one. And it's not working. I mean, I know there's some Americans who are busy. They don't have time to sit down and let things sift around in their head and determine if they're being manipulated or not. They just see something, it grabs them emotionally. And remember, the people that wrote the story, the people that put the movie out or the video out, the producers of the segments, these are not kids. These are people that have been in the business. They know how to craft it to pull at your heartstrings, to get a certain reaction out of you. That's the purpose. That's their jobs. So it's not just people being gullible. There are millions of dollars being invested in a large amount of expertise being deployed to make you feel that way. Sinners were sinners because Ryan Coogler's a hell of a director. This ain't his first rodeo. And the cinematography and the music and all the other things that were put into the story to make you like that movie. Same thing about these segments and these stories that they cover in the news. And what I'm saying is they hyped up a standard run-of-the-mill lightweight car crash like it was the end of days. When you see worse than that out here on 210, where they was drag racing right here in Fort Washington, Indian Head, Maryland, and people losing their lives and they get that type of publicity. So, yeah, to the point here, this CNN segment, the polling. After all the propaganda that they've been using all this time on this issue, Trump is still up in the polls on immigration because 40% of Americans can barely afford a cheeseburger. And they want you to be concerned, or they want you to be so gaslit over an isolated incident that you forget that. Now, if you can't afford a cheeseburger, ain't much gonna happen. It's gonna make you forget that you can't afford a cheeseburger. And if you need services and you can't get them because all the service money is gone, all the resources are gone, hearing about this sister in Minnesota that got shot doing a traffic stop, or she wouldn't stop for police and she drove and she could have hit the car, whatever you believe. I'm not here to argue that. When they're good situations, I'm not here to argue it. What I'm saying is, that don't change the price of tea in China, and that don't change the price of daycare in whatever city you in or your commute. They think we're dumb, Johnson. But it turns out people are, even if they are distracted and busy being on the treadmill trying to pay their bills, so they're on the paycheck treadmill, they still know reality.